I'm going to give it a minute because it seems like it always takes a minute. I get cut off at the beginning.
They're probably listening to you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's my Christmas wrap?
So, hey, welcome to Learning with Lynn. I'm Lynn.
And I'm Richard.
Yeah, and I want to thank you guys out for being here today. So today we are going to talk about, what is it exactly? We're going to talk about the most successful reps have this one trait in common. I wonder if anybody knows what that is. So let me see.
We're going to be talking turkey today.
Let me see. I'm going to move some things around. I'm going to pull my screen up. Let's see. That didn't work. There we go. Okay. So we're talking turkey today.
Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh.
That's not what we're talking about. You think you're pretty funny today, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys, it's tough to live with this man. He is hard to live with. I'm telling you. Hey, Bonnie, good to see you. Hi, welcome. So today we are going to talk about the most successful reps have this one trait in common. Just happens to be my second blog post here. So I am going to click on that. And so I wonder if anybody knows what this is, what this one trait is that most successful reps, the most successful reps. So, everything starts with a thought. Thoughts repeated over time become beliefs, and we operate our lives from our beliefs. It's our beliefs that run the show, seriously. And that's why the number one trait that you need to have is you need to have that unyielding belief in your success. That's a critical first step. Without it, you're going to hit a wall or you're going to become stagnant and you're not going to be able to reach your goals. I have two different Bonnie Smiths on. Well, hi, both of you.
That's funny.
Sorry, I got distracted. So apparently I have two Bonnie Smiths on with different profile pictures. So anyway, welcome. So it may be obvious, but here's the deal. It's like you not only need to have that unwavering belief in the possibility of your success, you also need to be able to consistently maintain that belief that you can and you will succeed. So many of the most successful people in the world came from nothing. Oprah was dirt poor and abused as a child, but that didn't stop her or any of these people from believing that they could be successful. Up here, I talk about Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, J.K. Rowling, and others like them. Yes, there are two of us. Ha, ha, ha. That is so cute. Both hi, Bonnies, both of you. So, even if you look in Avon, a good friend of mine, and she's actually been a mentor for many, many years, is Lisa Wilbur. And, when she first started, she was working in a secretary job and she'd gotten laid off and she was making $25,000 a year. And that was like, to her, that was huge money. That was like the best job she'd ever had. And then she got laid off and was devastated. And her husband said to her, why don't you do something with that Avon you've been playing with? And she says, I didn't know anybody who even sold $25,000 worth of Avon, let alone earn that much. But you know what? She decided she was going to do it. She decided that she was going to go to the top because she was not going to evaluate whether it worked until she got to the top and saw if it worked. And she believed in herself. She believed that she could get to the top. She believed that. Now, whether, she didn't really know how much money she would make once she got to the top or anything like that, but she knew that if she put her mind to it, she would get to the top. And so that's just an example, right? But that steadfast belief that you can be successful requires unyielding confidence that regardless of where you're at or what happened in the past to you, anything is possible. Those who struggle with success often are doing that because they're straddling a fence. They have one foot on the side of possibility and the other foot on the side of I'm not good enough. And that, seriously, if you look at people who are struggling for success, almost every one of them are in that situation. They seriously are straddling that fence and they've got the one foot in, I'm going to do it, and the other foot's just sort of holding them back. They can't get it over the fence because it's holding them back in the I'm not good enough. And we all have that. I mean, every one of us deals with that. And so if you're struggling with those types of issues, you're never going to be successful. You're never going to have that success. So that's why we're going to talk about that today, because it is critical. Your beliefs are critical. Not only about you being successful. You can't be successful until you think it's possible for you to be successful. But you also have to believe there's 4 areas: the profession of direct sales in general, Avon and the Avon opportunity, your Avon products, and most important, you. Because until you believe that you can do it, you're not going to do it. That's just how it is. And so people buy and do business with those that they know, like, and trust. So until you buy your story, nobody else is going to buy from you or do business with you. And it's so silly because we all know we can do it. We all know. I don't think there's a single person that can't do it if they put their mind to it, that can't be successful with Avon. We know we can do it. It's just a matter of, are we going to get the books out? Are we going to do what it takes? And if we don't believe we can do it, we're not going to do what it takes. That's really what it boils down to. So if you're unclear about where you're going, or you're wishy-washy, or you're sitting there going, well, maybe I might do this, or I'm thinking about it, or I might sell Avon, you're not going to get customers. They're not going to follow you, because people follow people who they are going somewhere where they want to go, right? And that's great news, because it's something you can do something about. You can start working on your beliefs right now. So I have 6 ways to build beliefs. And the first one, immerse yourself in success. So your belief will grow. Your belief will grow as you do. So the more you surround yourself with positive, successful people who are supportive and encouraging, the more likely you'll grow in the belief of being able to achieve success. The things that you read and watch and listen to, they make a dramatic difference in what you think. And this is something like in my Facebook groups, when people start getting real negative, I will stop the conversation. I'll delete it if I have to, because, and I don't want to go off on a tangent here, so I'm just going to say it, but if you're complaining, I know Avon has just made some changes to the comp plan, and they are what they are. And I think in most cases they are good. In some cases, maybe they're not so good, but they are what they are. It's Avon made these changes. And like my favorite mentor, Jim Rohn, says, when you get your own world, you can do it the way you want to do it, right? So the changes that are being made are actually good for new people, because 80% of reps sell at 20% or less. And so now they're going to get an extra 5% earnings. And so if for most people, it's good. But, and we've had already in some of our groups, we've had some discussion, and I'll let people go to a point. But if you're just going to complain, then what does it solve? Right? What does it solve? So you want to hang around with success. You want to talk about success, because talking about the bad part or talking about it's not fair, how does that help you build belief? How does that help you be successful? If you're not building your belief, you're not going to be successful. So that, immerse yourself in success. Hang around with other people who want to be successful. Become a sponge. Become a student of success in your Avon business. So avoid those negative conversations, avoid negative people, and attach yourself to those who are going to support you and lift you up. Okay, number 2, actively build your knowledge and put it to use. You've heard the phrase knowledge is power, right? But the truth is, knowledge is just knowledge until you put it into effect, right? It's the application of knowledge that makes all the difference. So what you know doesn't do you any good unless you apply it to your business and your life. Just knowing it isn't going to help you be successful. So make sure that you don't just learn, but that you immediately take what you learned and put it into practice. Because you'll grow both your business and your confidence at the same time, because the more you practice, the better you're going to get at it. The more you learn and then put it into practice and then keep practicing, you're going to get better at it. And the better you're getting at it, the more confidence you're going to have. Amazing how that works, right? So actively build your knowledge, put it to use. Number 3, collect stories. This is huge. Hey, Tracy, good to see you. I'm a firm believer in stories, because, I don't know if you've heard this, but we always say this. We've said this in our business for 19 years, but facts tell, stories sell. People don't really want the facts. You don't want to show them the brand new skincare product that we have and just tell them about all the ingredients that are in it. What they really want to know is, does it work, and will it work for me? And the best way to tell that is with the story. So collect those stories. And I like when I'm telling you stories about Lisa Wilbur and how she got to the top and how she wouldn't let anything stop her. That helps you believe that maybe you can do that too, right? because she wasn't anything special. I mean, I love you, Lisa. Of course you're special, but I mean, she's not, and she'll be the first to tell you that, she's not anything different than the rest of us. She just hung in there. She just made it happen. She said, I'm not going to stop until I do. And so by me telling you her story, that helps you have more belief. So stories are amazing, because as you create results, either with the products or with your Avon business, your beliefs take dramatic leaps forward. And when you are telling those stories and you're creating your own stories so that you have one to tell, that's what really helps people understand what you're talking about and how this can help them. And so if you want to know if it really works, then work until you see the result, and then you'll know that it works. That's what Lisa did, right? She worked until she got to senior executive unit leader, which was the top level at the time. And then she knew it worked. That's kind of, I have that same story. I mean, my story is not the same as Lisa's, and I didn't actually get to senior executive. I got very, very close. But I got high up in the comp plan, and even not being at the top, I don't have to worry or wonder about, does it work? I already know it works without a doubt. And my story even went a little bit farther in that we walked away from Avon for 6 years. Biggest mistake of our life. Absolute biggest mistake of our life. And I'm still regretting it. But because I did that, I even more know that this works. And I even know even more that Avon changing this comp plan is a good thing for us. Most other companies only pay 20% or 25%. So this is not unusual. And but that's kind of a whole different subject. But the comp plan is good for us, and I know that. Sure. Am I happy with every part of it? No, I'm not, because I sell at Honor Society. I was trying to get to Rose Circle this year. I don't think I'm going to make it. And so there have been lots of times when I make 50% because I have big orders, and I'm not going to make 50% next year probably. But so it's, it's not good, but I still know without a doubt that I can be successful at Avon. And I also know that part of this is from my experience of being with the company for so long. Changes happen, and they're not done making those changes. So you need to know that there will be more changes coming. And even on top of the changes that just came, those will probably change again, because they're still trying to figure it out, right? And we have our new company, LG. And but even if we make less, okay, even though I maybe have made 50% on quite a few orders because I had the sales to do that, and even if I'm only making 40% now, the fact that the prices went up on the products is going to actually help me make more dollar for dollar or campaign to campaign maybe than I was. So it's just a number. The percentage doesn't mean a lot. So let's see. Bonnie says, I was set up at a flea market, and a lady asked me what I used to look so young, and I told her new products. She thought me and my daughter were sisters. How cool is that? That's a story, Bonnie. That's a story. You're absolutely right. And that's what you can tell people, is that you're at a flea market, and, does it work? Hey, it works for me because I'm at a flea market and people are thinking I'm my daughter's sister instead of her mother, right? That's a story. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying collect stories. So, yeah. So, and then as you collect those stories, you're showing people that they work. And then as you get more successful, you will know it works. And when you're getting people telling you look like your daughter's sister, then you know that it works, that the new works on your face, right? I mean, we're all going to age. That's not going to go away, but we're aging more gracefully and we're looking younger. That's pretty exciting. So number 4, take action daily. So it's the little steps that you take every day that directly contribute to growing your personal confidence in your business. You can't get good at something if you don't do it. So that daily action, even if you don't know exactly what you're doing yet, it helps you learn and earn and grow in your beliefs. Because what happens is you take that action and then you go, oh, that didn't quite work right. Let me think, what can I do different? And next time you've learned something, and next time you do it different, right? Even if you don't have any idea what you're doing, you get out there, you give out a book, you say, hey, would you like an Avon brochure? And you're new and you forget to ask for their name and phone number. And then you go home and you go, I don't have any way to follow up with her. you know what? Next time I'll ask for her name and phone number, because you learn. Every time you do it, you learn. Because if you don't have a way to follow up with them, then you can pretty much guarantee you just threw that book away because you're not going to get that customer order. You might. I mean, it's always good to put books out. Don't get me wrong, but that's passive, and you need to build your business with purpose and on purpose. And so take those actions, get out there. We've talked a lot about how many books to put out and how to follow up and all of those things. And you can find them in my blog on onlinebeautybiz.com. But that daily action is going to help you, because even if you don't know anything, every time you do some action, you're going to learn something and you're going to be able to go better next time.
Can I say something real quick on this subject? The thing that's amazing about this, and we've gone through it many, many times, and I'm sure you will too if you haven't already, but when you do something wrong, it's a learning experience. And if it's really a bad experience, it's a really good learning experience. The more you screw up, the better you become, because you say, wow, I don't want to be embarrassed or do that again.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And then you just learn from your own experience. Hi, Amy. Good to see you. Glad to see you're here. So Richard's spot on. We learn from what we do. And Bonnie says, I leave books in laundromats and I get orders. Yeah, Bonnie, that's true. That is true. You will get orders. And so that's why I'm saying, and not telling you not to put books in places. I do the same thing. I put books in laundromats. I put books in coffee shops, and I don't get names and numbers because I'm just leaving the books there. And I'm getting those orders, but I'm not totally depending on those people, because sometimes people need to see your book 5 or 6 times before they order. They might see it in the laundromat 5 or 6 times before they actually place that order. Whereas if you had their information and you were able to follow up, you would get more orders. But it's all good, because we're not going to turn away any orders. So we leave those books as we go about our day. And when we can, we get a name and number and we follow up. And if we are not able to get a name and number, that's okay. We still work to grow our business. We still put books out.
Yeah, we keep wanting to have better practices that put contact information into our bucket. I call it a bucket, into the funnel.
We have a funnel. We seriously have a funnel. It's just a funnel, and you put people in the top. They come from all over. They come from Facebook. They come from your website. They come from
the laundromat.
They come from, if you do an event, you get books out. They come from there. What's really funny is Richard calls our books tumbleweeds. He calls them tumbleweeds because you would be amazed. You put books in a neighborhood over here on the east side of town, and all of a sudden somebody calls you from the west side of town because somebody from the east side of town was their sister and shared your Avon book with them. Yeah. They just roll around. Richard calls them tumbleweeds because they roll around. They get in some amazing places, but those people end up in your funnel. And the idea is you have this big funnel at the top, and it goes narrower and narrower and narrower, and then at the bottom it's just this little opening, and your customers fall out. Your customers and your prospects, right? So you want to put as many people into that funnel as you can in the top, because it narrows down, and then only a few come out. So the more books you put out, and if you're going to just leave them at laundromats and places where people get their tires changed, or coffee shops, if you're just going to leave them at those places, then you need to do a lot more books, because it's going to be a lot of people going in the top and a lot less coming out. You getting their name and number for follow-up kind of ensures that more people come out of the bottom, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Number 5, practice. So this is probably the most important part of your business. The successful people are successful because they practice. It's because they're out there doing it. If you want to get good at selling Avon and feel confident doing it, then you need to spend regular time in practice. So take time about practice how you approach people. Practice how you invite someone to look at your brochure or at selling Avon, and how you talk to them. And that practice can just be you out and about doing it. And what you do is you ask the cashier at the grocery store, hey, would you like an Avon brochure? How long has it been since you've seen an Avon brochure, or whatever? And you hand them a book. And if they say no, thank you, I'm not interested, then you move on, and you don't get your feelings hurt. You just figure they didn't want it. But then maybe when you get to your car, you go, what did I say that maybe turned her off? Or could I have said that better? And it might not be that you did it wrong. I'm not saying you did. You absolutely could have said it right, and she could just not be interested, right? But when you go back and you think about what did I say, how did I say, could I have said it better? Sometimes you learn something that next time then you can say it better, and before long you become a pro at it. And just by giving books to girls, boys, whatever, men and women in the checkout lane at the grocery store or at the coffee shop or wherever you go about your day, it's all a matter. The more you do it, the better you get at it.
Yeah, practice is, the best analogy right now is sports season. You may not be into sports, but right now it's like football and basketball and hockey season. But I guarantee you that all those teams, your favorite team in your local city, they practice. They practice the plays. They make sure it works. They over and over again. I mean, like in basketball, some of the players are terrible at free throw shooting, and they sit and they spend 80% of their time just shooting free throws, practicing all day long until they get better at it, because it could be a game changer. Making that one shot at the end of the game could win the game.
Oh, in sports, it's like literally shoot a basket, shoot a basket, shoot a basket for hours. Or maybe it's dribble for hours, but their coach doesn't let them let up, So we're not asking you to do that, but we're asking you to get out there and work your business, and you'd be surprised at how much better you will get at it as you do that, because you'll self-evaluate. You'll know if it felt right or it didn't feel right, and you'll know that maybe you could change how you said that. Right?
Yeah, that's the big thing. The biggest thing we see with new reps is they're afraid to talk to people. So a lot of times we'll go out with them initially, or we'll invite them to events we're doing, and within 5 to 10 minutes, they're going to see how easy it is just to hand a brochure to a customer and ask for their information. And all of a sudden the fear goes away. It's just that one simple little step, and boom, they know how to do it from then on.
Even as simple as you have an Avon brochure, and if you're brand new, a lot of times you're going to go, "Hi, would you like an Avon brochure?"
Oh, I don't know.
See how that was? I was afraid. I was holding it back. When literally, as you get better at it, you go, "Hi, would you like an Avon brochure?"
Oh, I'd love that. Oh, and you have a sticker on the front. Oh, let me give you my.
Just leave your name and number on that Post-it note, and I'll give you a quick text before my order goes in. And text seems to go better than call, because they don't want you to call them. So just leave your name and number on here. I'll give you a quick text before my order goes in, so that I don't leave you out. Right? It's really simple. And so many times, especially new people, they're afraid because nobody has shown them how to do it. But the more times you do it, the more likely you're going to be like, "Hey, would you like an Avon brochure?" Instead of, "Hey, would you like an Avon brochure?" Yeah.
It becomes comfortable and automatic.
Because if you're comfortable and you're confident, they're going to be comfortable and confident when they take it from you. If you're scared and you're holding it back, they'll say, "Oh, no, thanks." Just how it is, right? So that's just part of getting the practice. That's the practice. Okay, number 6, regularly attend events. The more plugged in you are, the better you'll be. Bottom line, events serve many purposes, including helping you not only learn, but be in an environment that helps build your belief. So if you're at Rep Fest and you're watching people walk across the stage and getting recognized, hundreds and hundreds of people being recognized, and all these people in the audience, and you know what? I'm going to tell you right now that the percentage of people who are successful that are at Rep Fest is sky high, because successful people, they don't question, should I go to Rep Fest? It's not a question. They just know they're going. That's because successful people know they need to be there. And so when you're there, you're going to see a ton of successful people, because that's who's there. And so you're going to get to meet them. You're going to get to know them. You're going to interact with them. You're going to talk to them in the hallway. And what's really amazing about that is you're going to learn more from the people you're having coffee with at the coffee shop, or having breakfast with at breakfast, or in the hallway waiting in line to go in. You're going to learn more from them than you are from the actual Rep Fest. It's all about who you meet and who you hang out with. And so events is where you're going to meet other representatives who are successful, and where you'll gain confidence, as well as lots of new Avon friends. And so Rep Fest is critical. It's critical for you to be there. It's like not until next year. When is it?
It's in July, August.
July, August. So you got plenty of time.
In San Antonio.
Yeah, in San Antonio.
Yeah.
So you got plenty of time to save up for airfare and hotel rooms. But bottom line, get your tickets now. Get them while they're cheaper on the pre-sale. And get your ticket and make the commitment that you're going to be there, because trust me, successful people are at Rep Fest. That's just how it is. And you're going to find the people that aren't at Rep Fest, generally speaking, aren't the most successful people. I'm not saying that you have to be there to be successful. You're the one that decides your success, not Rep Fest, right? But successful people pretty much always, they know that they're going to be there. And you know what? It's the same thing, though, whether you're online. Bonnie says, I'm saving now.
All
Go,
right,
Bonnie. Woohoo.
Get both of you saving, Bonnie.
Yeah, both of Bonnie's. So it doesn't necessarily, I mean, Rep Fest is the main one. That's the main one. But hey, if you have local events, if you're here in Utah, we have events every month. We have a sales meeting every month. If you're here in Utah, whether you're on my team or not, you should be there. You should be at that event, at our local sales meeting, not because I have all the answers, but because the person sitting next to you probably does. They're going to be able to say, oh, I do it this way. And all the rest of us are going to go, wow, we never thought of that. Because that's what happens is you're going to meet people and you're going to make friends. And when you have friends that are in Avon, doesn't that make it easier for you to have people to talk to and know what to do and all of that? And if you can't go to a local event, guess what? We have these Facebook Lives every Sunday. Are you here? Are you on our Facebook Live? Actually, and I'm not complaining, but it doesn't seem like there's that many people on here, which is kind of sad because, we try to keep it to a half an hour at the most. But we give information that's here to help you. And a lot of you are watching the replay, and that's good. That's good. But bottom line is, if you're struggling with belief, then it's critical for you to be here. It's critical for you to be on the Facebook Live. It's critical for you to be at a local meeting if there is one. If your coach is doing a Zoom meeting, a lot of the Avon coaches are doing them. They're traveling around right now, and they're doing local events. We just had our coach here from Vegas this last week for 3 days. And they're traveling around and they're doing events in your cities. So get to those events, because the more you learn, the more you're going to have belief, the more you see other people who are successful, and you might see someone who's successful that's just like you, and you meet somebody who's just like you have a lot in common, and it's amazing then what you can accomplish together. You don't even have to be on the same team. You just become friends.
Can I say real quick that I think every one of us, I don't think there's an exception in the group, all of us went to school. We started in kindergarten, first grade, and we went all the way to the 12th grade. When you got to the first grade, you didn't tell the teacher, I don't have time for this, and go to the 12th grade. You couldn't do it. It takes that little drip, drip, drip. That's 5, 6, 8 hours a day of going to school and learning little bits and things every single week. This is easy. We're giving you 30 minutes to half an hour to an hour once a week, and you can come to school here, in so to speak, and learn little techniques and little tips and things, and be better at what you do. And
we don't claim that we know it all.
No,
that we're learning every day. We're still learning. Yeah. I learned some things that. It's funny. I learned some things at our skincare clinic that I had no idea. So we're all learning. But
this is cool too. Is also, if you find things on here and you tried it and didn't work, give us feedback, and we'll walk through it. Maybe it's something that doesn't work for most people, and we can talk through it and make it work for everybody.
We've also learned that sometimes things. Wait a minute. I want to just recognize Nancy. Nancy's on.
Hey,
she
Nancy
says, "I learned so much from you. Thank you, thank you, Nancy, for being on." And you know what? I know there's probably a lot of people that are on that are not commenting, so we just don't know you're there. So I want to throw that out to all of you. You're welcome. You're welcome, and we're glad you're here. But what was I going to say? What were you saying?
We're just about learning.
Oh, yes. Sometimes we've learned that some things work in certain areas and not in others.
Yeah.
And a perfect example of that is, and I still believe this, and I still believe it works, and I know it works in lots of areas, but Richard and I grew our business in California to where we were selling President's Council over $150,000 a year by leaving books on doorsteps, not by knocking on doors. Now, I have training on that, and you'll find it in Online Beauty Biz. I believe that if you take 100 books and you knock on doors and you introduce yourself and you get a name and phone number and you follow up with them before you place your order, that you're going to get 20 to 30 orders out of that 100. And that's just how it's going to work. Those are the numbers, right? It's 20% roughly, 20 to 30 maybe. So we were both working a lot of hours in our day job, and people don't like you knocking on their door at 11 o'clock at night. And so what we did was, Richard would do this on his day off. He would pick a neighborhood, and usually we did about 300 books, and he would leave them on the doorsteps. He didn't knock on the door. He just left them on the doorsteps.
I walked it.
And
good exercise.
and by that same token, we had team members who did tossing. If you've heard of tossing, where they put them in plastic bags and throw them from their car like a newspaper. So don't get me wrong, there's lots of ways to do it. But Richard would walk a neighborhood, 300 houses roughly, and put a book
on the doorstep.
And the key to that, though, is you're not going to get 20 to 30 people from that. You might get one. More than likely, you're going to get 0. I'm just going to be really honest with you. And what happens is they see it and they go, oh, this is garbage, and they throw it away. And then you go back next campaign and you do the same houses, same ones, the next campaign. And now they've seen your book twice and they go, that's garbage, and they throw it away. And then you do it again the third campaign, and maybe a couple of them might pick it up and say, wow, I've seen this book 3 times now, or this, these Avon, somebody's really persistent about this.
They're going to stick around.
So they might hang on to it. They might place an order. They might not. And then maybe the 4th or 5th time, you might get more orders. But out of 6 times in a row, you'll end up with the same 20 or 30 that you would have got had you knocked on the door and got a name and number and followed up. And then as soon as you get through with 6 campaigns, he would just literally move 300 houses down to the very next 300 houses.
Move a block over.
And then the very next 300 houses.
Yeah.
And I think over the years, we pretty much covered all of Ventura, California. I think Richard knew every house in town.
And I was skinnier too.
But that worked. That worked for us. And we grew our business to where we were selling $150,000 a year. We were President's Council. Okay. So we moved to Utah. Now, I grew up in Utah. I'm born and raised here. And I am not trying to speak bad of anybody, but I am not Mormon. And in Utah, it's very Mormon. And so we did the same thing here, and it didn't work for us. We'd leave them for 6 times and we'd get nothing. I mean, nothing, like crickets. And we kept trying, and it didn't work for us. What I finally figured out was Utah is a very Mormon. It is very Mormon. And everybody here goes to church. There's these Mormon wards. They call them wards. They're churches on just about every corner. And it's so funny. It's like, I don't know if you guys remember that show, Edward Scissorhands, where everybody goes to work in the morning, and in the show, they all leave their houses at the same time. It's like really funny. It's like, well, it's the same thing here on Sunday mornings. Everybody leaves their houses and they walk to the church. But in a way, I was not getting the sales because I'm not Mormon. And it's not because they said, I'm not going to buy from her because she's not Mormon. They probably didn't even know who I was. But what happened was they would get my book and they would go, oh, Sally in my church sells Avon. I'll place the order with her. And so I think that's what was happening. And so in this case, it didn't work. In this case, I have to go out and I have to meet people and I have to get to know them. So everything we teach you, it works. I guarantee you it works. If I teach you something and say this is how it works, but I can't guarantee it works in every area, because that leaving books on doorsteps doesn't work for me here. If I was Mormon and if I was putting them on the doorsteps that are the doorsteps that belong to my ward, then it probably would work. But you're still limited to those people in that area that go to that ward, because otherwise they're going to buy from, because that's just how the Mormons are. They buy from people. They support each other in their church.
They like know and trust.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And it is. Mm-hmm. So nothing bad or wrong. I'm not dissing anybody. I'm not saying anything that way. I'm just saying that's just how it is. It's just the way it is. And so that doesn't work for me. So we do events. We do breast cancer events. We do a lot of them. We get permission to set up a breast cancer table, and we set up a little display, or we do a thing in the mall where we get permission to put a table in the mall, and we get their names and numbers, and we get contact information, and we follow up. And that's how we've been able to build our business. So since we've been in Utah, I don't have President's Council sales, but I'm up to about 29,000 right now this year. So my sales are growing. I'm getting the sales, but just have to find a different way to do it. So I guess what I'm really trying to say is, if something doesn't work, don't just give up. Just find another way to do it, because you know that you can do it, right? So I might not know that I didn't know that the people wouldn't buy from me because I wasn't in their church, but I know that I can be successful. I just have to find a different way to do it.
Yeah, Jim Rohn said it best. He said, "Don't wish that things were better. Wish that you were better."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's the same thing when it comes to our comp plan changes, you guys. I know there's a lot of people that are upset. I know there's some people are happy, and I'm neutral. Okay. I know that it is what it is and that it's not my company and I can't change it. Right. I'm not Avon. I'm not LGH&H. I'm not Paul Yee, the president of our company. It's not up to me. But I know that what they are doing is in the best interest of us. So maybe not every little thing is going to be perfect for us, but overall, big picture, this is going to be a better company. It's going to be stronger. We're going to have more sales. So whether we're making 40% or 50% or 30%, our sales are going to be higher so that we make more money coming in. One of the things that I'm shaking my head at is I'm hearing in a lot of the groups, people are saying, well, if I can't make more money, more higher percentage by having a higher order, like why should I even try to get a higher order, like $1,500, 15, whatever it is, gets you to 50%. Why should I even bother to get that high? That's a silly question when you think about it, because bigger orders mean more money in your pocket. Right? It's not about, oh, I'm going to get to $1,500 so I can make 50%. It's about, if I sell $1,500 rather than $1,000, I'm going to make more money no matter what percentage I'm at. Right? So what incentive do I have to sell more? Well, the incentive is more money in your pocket. So that's my feeling on it. There's still, with the changes that are coming, there's going to be a lot more changes. So just hang on for the ride, but it's all going to be good, you guys. I'm really excited about this. This company is moving forward. This company is transitioning. They're revamping themselves to become the best that we can be. And we've been the best for 130 some odd years now. And we're going to be the best for another 130 years. So let's just do this.
Yep. An old saying is complain up. And you can complain here. If you have questions on stuff, you don't think something's going to work, or you don't understand why something doesn't work, ask us. We'll bring it up, and it probably help everybody else that tunes in here too.
It's true, because if you have a question, if you seriously have an honest question, not a complaint, not just complaining to complain, okay, but an honest question, I'll write a blog post about it. I'm always looking for things to write about. And so, my website, this online beauty biz website, on the right-hand side here is a search. And if you're on your phone, it's going to be at the bottom. The search is going to be at the very bottom. But there's a search, and anything that you think that you need, that you have a question about, you could probably find it in here. And if not, then hit me up, and I'd be happy to write a post about it. So I think we don't have a lot of questions. So I am looking forward to seeing all of you guys at RepFest. I will be there. We've already booked our hotel. We've already booked our tickets. We'll get our airfare later, but we will be there, and I hope to see you there. And if you're in Utah, I hope to see you at our next sales meeting, which will be December 17th at the Murray Library in Murray. So, and of course, we have our Facebook Lives every Sunday, so don't miss those either.
That's right. If you're here and it's snowing, or if you're at home and it's snowing, you don't want to go out, this is a great way to do it. Don't have to go out.
But one last thing about belief, you know you can do it. It's not a question. You know you can do it. You know you can pick up this pen, right? You know that if there's a pen there, if you want to pick it up, you're going to find a way to pick it up. And if you even had a handicap and you didn't have arms or hands, you would still find a way to pick it up. Trust me. So you know that if you want it, you can pick it up. So you know that if you want to be successful in Avon, you can do it. Yes, you're going to run into obstacles. Yes, you're going to have roadblocks come up in your face. Yes, you're going to have problems, but you know you can do it. So it's just a matter of you deciding you're going to do it and do it. So Bonnie says, I met you at RepFest last year. Yay, Bonnie. Woohoo. And Carla's on. Carla's in the house.
All right, Carla.
Carla's coming to RepFest. I'm so excited. Carla and I have been, she's on our team, and we've been friends on Facebook and friends on Zoom calls, but we are going to meet for the first time at RepFest, and I am going to give you a big hug. Yeah. I am so excited to see you.
Those are better than virtual hugs.
Yes. And Bonnie says, I love these lives.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you, Bonnie.
We love having you.
And Carla says, but whoops. Carla says we can do it.
You bet.
Absolutely, you guys. We already know we can do it. We already know if we want something bad enough, we will do it. We will find a way. So that's what we need to lean on. When we're struggling, we just need to lean on that, knowing that we can do it. And Amy, I am working on being at Rep Fest. I have to meet you guys. Yes, Amy, yes. I want to meet you too.
You bet.
And you can hang with us with Carla and anybody else, Bonnie, who wants to hang with us.
You'll find us easy. We'll be the group hugging people.
And Carla says ditto. Bonnie says me and Tracy will be at Rep Fest.
Awesome.
I plan on San Antonio. The other Bonnie.
Yeah.
Oh, we got two Bonnies. Both of you are going to be at Rep Fest.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, River Walk. That River Walk is amazing. Oh,
Aaron Young. Okay, Aaron. What time on the 17th? I've been selling mostly to myself and a couple of gals in my office. Time to pick up the pace.
Yeah.
6:30 at the Murray Library. Aaron, if you're in the Utah Facebook page, the Utah Avon Reps Facebook page, it will be posted in there. But it's 6:30 at the Murray Library.
It's
on 53rd South.
Just past Costco.
53rd South, and it's like First East or Second East, somewhere right in there. Anyway, looking forward to seeing you, Aaron. And Bonnie, smiley face. Amy, absolutely. All right, you guys, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you.
Yes.
And
Bonnie said another.
Bonnie wants to meet Bonnie.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, you guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We are all so blessed. I am so blessed to have all of you here. And really, we are blessed to have Avon because Avon's looking out for us. So I'm excited about that. But go spend time with your family and your friends and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. So let me bring this back. Take that out. There we go. And okay, you guys, I will see you next week. We will plan on next week, which will be December 1st.
It's December 1st. The last month of the year.
Yeah, I need to check. We're good for that day, right?
Yes.
December 1st. We'll be back here next Sunday, same time, same place. I'm driving and listening. That's awesome, Tracy. And Bonnie, it'd be great to meet you too.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
See you guys
everybody.
all later. Bye-bye.
Good night.